week packed with high-stakes financial shifts, from a potential shake-up in the EV industry to gold's dramatic surge amid political turmoil, and the unstoppable momentum of Bitcoin. And later, we'll dive deeper into the ongoing US government shutdown, now in its second week, and explore what it really means for the global economy. Welcome to Finance Pulse, and here are the top headlines of the day. We start with Tesla, which is gearing up for one of its most significant product launches in years. The company is expected to unveil a more affordable version of its best-selling model Y SUV on Tuesday, a strategic move to revive slowing sales and defend its market share in an increasingly competitive electric vehicle market. For years, CEO Elon Musk has promised a truly mass-market EV. He even floated the idea of a $25,000 model, though those plans were shelved last year. Now, Tesla's new approach is to offer a lower-cost Model Y built on existing platforms, a way to cut production costs without starting from scratch. It's a crucial moment for the company as rivals in China and Europe close the technology gap and consumers demand cheaper EV options. Whether this model can reignite Tesla's growth remains to be seen, but the stakes couldn't be higher. Next, let's talk about gold, which is edging closer to a historic $4,000 an ounce. The precious metal hit $3,977.44 after surging nearly 2% on Monday, driven by mounting global uncertainty. Two factors are fueling the rally: the ongoing US government shutdown and a political crisis in France. The shutdown, now stretching into its second week, has halted the release of crucial economic data, leaving investors without key signals to assess growth and inflation. At the same time, instability in Europe is pushing traders towards safer assets. Markets are also betting on a Federal Reserve rate cut this month, which makes gold, a non-yielding asset, even more attractive. With volatility rising, gold's climb toward that symbolic $4,000 mark could continue in the days ahead. And from gold to digital gold, Bitcoin has smashed through another milestone. The world's largest cryptocurrency hit a new all-time high, reaching close to $126,000 on Monday, extending a rally that's already added more than 33% to its value this year. The surge has been fueled by strong institutional demand, a friendlier regulatory environment under President Donald Trump, and Bitcoin's growing integration into mainstream finance. Investors are increasingly treating it as both a hedge against traditional market risks and a long-term store of value. As more capital flows into the asset class, Bitcoin's influence over the broader financial system is only expected to grow. Now for our deep dive tonight, the US government shutdown. It officially began on October 1st after lawmakers failed to pass a budget to fund federal agencies. It's a familiar political standoff, but one with global consequences. So what's happening this time and why does it matter? First, there's no clear end in sight. Both parties remain locked in a stalemate, and analysts warn the shutdown could stretch on for weeks. For context, the longest shutdown in US history lasted 35 days back in 2018 to 2019. Pressure usually builds when federal workers start missing paychecks, and that moment is approaching quickly. At the heart of the fight is a dispute over healthcare subsidies. Democrats want the new funding bill to include an extension of Affordable Care Act premium tax credits, which help millions of Americans afford insurance. These credits are set to expire at the end of the year, and without them, premiums could spike in 2026. Republicans, however, are rejecting the demand. They're pushing for a short-term spending bill known as a continuing resolution that would reopen the government until late November. President Trump has also suggested using the shutdown to pursue deeper spending cuts and reduce the size of the federal workforce, adding another layer of political tension. The reality is, the government will stay closed until Congress and the President agree on new funding. That could come through a short-term extension, the most common resolution since 1990, or a full-year budget which would take longer to negotiate. But the consequences extend far beyond Washington. Shutdowns delay vital economic data, disrupt public services, and undermine investor confidence. For companies that depend on government contracts or trade statistics, the uncertainty can have real financial costs. And because the US remains the anchor of the global economy, prolonged political gridlock in Washington sends shockwaves worldwide, from bond markets to emerging market currencies. For now, all eyes are on Capitol Hill, and until one side gives ground the shutdown, and its ripple effects will remain one of the biggest risks to the global economy this month. That's all in Finance Pulse for today. Follow the Finance 360 for more updates.